Welcome to Northwest Connection. Joining us today is Tayne, an industrial noise outfit hailing from London. Known for their fierce sonic experimentation with unique fusion of metal, shoegaze, electronic and pop, Tayne crafts a sound that is as brutal as it is beautiful. Prepare for a sonic experience that's equal parts chaos and clarity.
Hi Matt, welcome to Northwest Connection. My name's Charles.
I'm Hanny.
And would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners?
Yeah, what's up? I'm Matt. I play in a band called Tayne. We make like industrial noise. We call it pop music, but that's open to interpretation.
And how long have you been together as Tayne?
I think we pretty much took off in like 2018, maybe. And we went through when we started off. We were like almost like a Godflesh tribute. We had two of us on stage with a drum machine, and then as time kind of progressed, we got a live drummer into the system, and I guess we've kind of been rocking the 3-piece, I guess, post COVID.
And that's working out great for you.
Seems to be 3 is the golden number, you know. I think it makes it easier logistic wise, less fights, and yeah, it kind of you get to still have the integral live element to the band. We've like so much kind of electronics and stuff in our sound that when we play live, we really kind of try lean into the live side of the band. So when the 3 people that are on stage are absolutely slamming the shit out of it on stage.
Where are you based?
We are based in London. I'm from Ireland, Tom is from Essex, and Ardo is from Brazil. But all been living here for quite a while. So yeah, multicultural industrial noise pop.
And where did the name come from?
The name came from it's a joke name, classic terrible band name. I was obsessed with this TV show in the kind of 2000s, Tim and Eric's awesome show, Great Job, that was on Adult Swim, and it was like a skit show of like all these like really slapstick, badly done comedy things. And they would get loads of different comedians in. They get to do like loads of one-off skits, and one of them they got Paul Rudd in, and so it's like Paul Rudd kind of sitting in front of a computer, like talking to the computer's talking back to him, and he's like pretending, you know, he's a businessman, but like his work is just like loading up like nude versions of himself, and like and so the computer just turns around and says like, "Hey Paul, I've been working on a new sequence. Do you want to see it?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he presses load, and then this like mini Paul Rudd pops up on the screen. He goes, "Hey Paul, I'm Tayne. I can't wait to entertain you." And I was just like, "Boosh." There you go. Yeah, so yeah, that's where it came from. Just stuck with that. I think, was it like some Krang or Metal Hammer or something referred us to like a Polynesian god or deity, and I was like, "Wow, no!" I wish it was that sophisticated.
Oh, too deep.
I know that so much to thank for it all.
Yeah, I should have just doubled down and went with it.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm a 5th Polynesian.
Yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been Ham Banana after that episode of Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh yeah. Loads of great stuff. But yeah, same era, I think, was the Tim and Eric stuff, you know?
So, what's your musical background then, Matt? How did you start playing, and how have you got to where you are now?
I think me personally, I probably started playing guitar when I was a teenager, and always kind of considered myself as a guitarist. And I used to play before I moved to London. I used to play in bands in Ireland, predominantly Galway, where I lived before I moved here. And it was kind of like a math rock kind of instrumental thing. And then when I moved here, I met Tom, who was our guitar player, and the two of us played guitar in this band. We tried to start this band that never really took off. It was just kind of like this kind of, I don't know, it was like kind of like an indie rock type thing. It just felt very wrong, and I commandeered Tom to play guitar. I kind of, I guess I probably had some of the Tayne stuff wrote or like in the incubator stage, and it turned out it was easier to find a guitar player than it was a bass player. So then I took the role of playing bass, and I'm still somehow playing bass.
Okay, so I mean, your sound fuses industrial chaos with pop hooks and shoegaze textures. What
Yeah.
inspired that collision of extremes, and how did you decide which sonic elements to take into a lead track? And how would you describe your music to somebody who's not heard it before?
Yeah, it's a good one. I would say like it's a sonic assault for sure. There's definitely elements from all of those genres that you've described. We have, I think, uh, me growing up, I was very much a metalhead into, all the classic metal stuff, but probably like young early on into it, I was into like stuff like White Zombie and all of this stuff that kind of naturally led further back into like Ministry, Nine Inch Nails, Godflesh, all of this stuff. And I feel like that was the kind of music that really resonated with me kind of in my late teens. And um and and I think I got to a stage where like coming out of the thing that me and Tom done, um, this kind of in indie rock thing. Um, it I just got sick of it just being like it just feels disingenuous, and I just want to do something that felt real or genuine to me and like my music tastes. And so kind of that kind of background of Nine Inch Nails and all of that
Yeah.
kind of started to kind of seep into it. But also, on the flip side, um, mega into like pop music. ABBA, fucking Lady Gaga. I love it. Can't get enough of it. And and uh, and so I think I was like a little bit interested in that too. It was the defining moment of like, oh, okay, was I think it was probably Lady Gaga put out some record. It was I never really cared about Gaga until I heard this record. It was called Art Pop, and I think critically it was the worst album that she's ever put out. It didn't like people didn't get it, but for me, I thought it was the best thing I've ever heard. And it was I just thought it was mad because like Lady Gaga being like one of the biggest, most successful mainstream commercial pop artists in the world, um, wrote this album that was like not pop music at all. It was like just the most aggressive like EDM, like hard hitting album, like so produced and so mad. And I was just like, this is mainstream commercial pop music. This is where we're at with that. And I was like, that's where I thought like if you took Gaga off that record, it was like there was nothing pop about
Yeah.
it. And I think
Special.
yeah, it's so obnoxious in all the best ways. And I was just like, whoa, if you can do that and label that as pop music, well then you can you in so many ways do whatever you want with pop music and label it as pop music. And so I think that's where where I was just like, okay, well, what could I do? And I was like, Nine Inch Nails, Godflesh, all of this shit that I love. And so kind of carrying the flag of Gaga, created Tayne.
And it's working for you, so.
I mean, you just mentioned some of the sort of the pioneers of the industrial movement.
Yeah.
Would you say that they're the ones that influenced you to go into like doing remixes as well? Because I think the first time I heard the Tayne was when you worked with Mastiff
Oh
on the
yeah,
track last
yeah,
year,
yeah,
and that was I sort of knew Tayne as a remix band before I knew them as an actual band in their own right.
yeah,
So was that like a conscious thing, taking that sort of Justin Broderick and Trent Reznor and Al Jurgensen sort of
for
way of
sure. Yeah,
remixing other people's music.
I think so. Yeah, like we put out. I mean, we put out this EP in 21, and we got like I just called Justin, like just emailed him, and said, "Hey man, would you do a remix of our song?" And he got back immediately, and he was like, "This sounds sick." Yeah, of course.
Cool.
And he did. So we have a Jesu remix of a song called Silence that exists on streaming and stuff, and yeah, I think like with remixing and stuff like that, it was always something like, I mean, I never really, I guess, never really kind of thought too much about it. I just thought it would be fun to try and mess around with other people's material, and with Mastiff specifically. I mean, they make like super aggressive,
Yeah.
super heavy music, and it's like it's so good. You know, I was
Yeah.
just like um, our mutual bud kind of was like, why don't you do something with them? And they just had the latest album coming out, and so I think the idea was flagged, and they were like, yeah, we can send you stems, do whatever you want. And I think initially it was like they were just like make a crazy Gabba remix thing, and and then it quickly formed into, I was like, how about like a 2.0 and let me like make it a Tayne song as well as your song, and they
Yeah.
were all for it. And so that's kind of it just kind of came out of that, and I was just like, how do you make Mastiff sound heavier? It's a hard challenge. So I just made all the drums like extremely blown out and as industrial sounding as possible, and it worked.
Yeah.
I think,
Definitely work.
and since that we've done a few, and I think it's cool. It's like like I think it's one thing that maybe the metal community hasn't really picked up on, that like dance communities and everything does, like
Yeah.
collabs and remixes. It's such a cool cross branding thing. Like, you know, especially for us, I think it was just before we started the album campaign trail for this album that we just put out at the start of this year, and so it was great to kind of like get a little bit of attention on us just before we
Yeah.
started putting out all of our own music. So yeah,
Yeah.
it worked really well, and I think they seemed to. I think it done really well for them. They seemed super stoked that it got loads of airtime and stuff. So
But yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, for a long time in the '90s, it seemed like everyone had a remix by, your Justin Broderick's, your Trent Reznor's, your Al Jurgensen, and your Front 242. All those
yeah,
bands were always doing something for somebody else, and then it did die off, and it does seem to be coming back now with like yourself at the
yeah.
forefront of it.
I think yeah, man. I like with streaming and the way like people consume music now. It's like it's like a conveyor belt of content, right? So
Yeah.
like I think like if you like the kind of format of like, I don't know, releasing an album every like 2 or 3 years, and like trying to capitalize on it and keep momentum going in the digital world doesn't doesn't seem to, I don't know. Well, this is my take. It's not necessarily the right take, but it seems that like you almost get punished by streaming platforms to like approach it that way. And so the remix thing and collabing and all of that, it just kind of keeps things going, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
like less downtime, keeps your name in the sphere for longer and stuff. And so, but it's really fun. Like it's not like as tactical and as cynical as I'm trying to make it sound. I think like the Hidden Mothers thing, and we done Wallowing, and the Mastiff one, all just happened very naturally, just from knowing the guys and hanging out, and
Yeah.
like we played with Wallowing, we played with Hidden Mothers, and they were into what we were doing, we were into what they were doing, and it just kind of happened naturally. So just one of those things. Let's try to do something fun.
And you've managed to make three of the most brutal bands in the UK even more brutal.
I think I would love to take all the credit for it, but I think they definitely have they have an involvement in it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really fun. I think the Wallowing one was I think they send over like 20 minutes worth of music, and I was just like, oh, do you want what are we doing here? and we somehow managed to put out a 3-minute song out of those 20 minutes worth of music. But yeah, it's super fun. It's a fun exercise too, because I think where with Tayne and stuff, the band exists, but it's probably it's fair to say it starts and finishes on a computer,
Yeah.
um, and so when you're kind of doing these collabs with other people, it pushes you out of your kind of comfort zones, and I think that is quite fruitful in itself, because then your brain's thinking differently, you approach things a little differently. See, you get under the hood, and you're like, that's how they do that, and it's a learning experience.
Back to Tayne, how does your song writing process start?
Say again.
Back to your band
Yeah,
songs, how do they start? Is it with a guitar track or is it with a beat?
I think it kind of it varies. I'd say predominantly at the moment it kind of tends to start with like probably me sampling stuff on a computer, um, and then bringing it to the guys, bringing it into a room, and like trying to add live elements onto it, or like see what works and what doesn't, and then it probably goes back to a computer at the end, and that's kind of like the building blocks of how I guess we write Tane. But I think yeah, it doesn't necessarily start with like a guitar or a synth or something. Just we've kind of we got like kind of lucky with this album that we put out, Love, that we got like all the stems of all the projects of everything on like a master folder, and a lot of like the new stuff that hasn't, like, that will be coming next, is like kind of just like a deep dive into those folders and ripping stuff apart and distorting them and making them weird and do something in it different way, and then we've like built new songs out of that. So it's kind of weird in that it feeds into itself. It kind of feels like a consistency to the sound or something.
Is it a conscious thing to make it weird then? To make
Say
things
again.
Is it a conscious thing to make it weird?
i
Wow.
think I think there's always a little bit of like tactical stuff in it. Like we have a song that's on the album called Scars, that's like this massive, like it's a massive pop chorus on that song, and I think the song started with that pop chorus. We had this chorus that was like really fast tempo and upbeat, and very very cool, and we all kind of liked it, but we were like, how does that work with Tame? How do we make that work? And so I went through like maybe 3 iterations of a song, where we kind of were like, well, if we have this like big pop payoff thing, the rest of the song has got to be absolute like carnage and chaos. So it's like it just sidesteps you. You're just thrown in a different direction, and so I think, yeah, we probably try to do stuff like that from time to time, just to keep it like, um so it's not, yeah, just to keep things interesting for ourselves, and that it's not all just like pop, because essentially we're metalheads writing pop music at the end of the day.
And where'd you find inspiration for the lyrics from?
I think that the lyrics are always the hardest part. They like they're always, again, when I go back to that kind of reason why I started the band, about wanting to do something that felt like honest and like real. When it kind of got to like lyrical content and themes, like I kind of always felt like I'm not really one that is like a wordsmith like Jack White and just slams words together. I don't have that skill or vocabulary, and I didn't know, I don't feel like a very comfortable commenting on other kind of life events or things that aren't necessarily like my interactions with humanity or life, and so they're always kind of very inwards and self-serving in a way, and so that's kind of like where the lyrics kind of tend to come from. A lot of like staring in front of the mirror and seeing, picking apart what's staring back at you, in like a weird way. And it's quite cathartic, but I think it at the end of it, it feels real and it feels honest, and it feels like something that I can stand up on stage and comfortably kind of talk about or sing, because it's all coming from my life.
Yeah. When you're doing your collaborations with, obviously you worked with Rachel Asp from Cage Fight and James from
Yeah.
Rollo on the album as well. Did they have any sort of input into the lyrics, or was that all you still?
I think that was predominant. Did James? No, I think we had the songs wrote. I think I think we had the songs wrote, and so I think maybe Rachel, we used to work together, and Cage Fight took off, and we've always stayed friends, and she's been really supportive with us getting off the ground and stuff like that. And so I think when we had the album done, I think I sent it to her, and she was like, "I'll sing on one."
Right.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's fucking sick, mate, let's do it." She's like mega demon mode. She does it better
Yeah.
than any person I know. And so I was just like, please. And I think Coherent was the right song, because it's got like it's a really aggressive, fast song, but it's got that big intro that's just like a screaming thing, and so it's so cool to have her vocals in on that. James was kind of a similar, like we had the song wrote, and I think that was like one of the last things that came together on the album. We didn't even realize that would be a possibility. I think we kind of signed with the label, and kind of throughout with the label, we kind of knew some of the guys in Tomasi, and just kind of like briefly spoke to them and liaised kind of with them, and they spoke us through all the stuff. And then kind of when we got the contract across the line, they were just like, why don't Rolo sing on the song? And James instantly was like, absolutely. And so again, it was like, just one of those kind of surreal things to have like someone who's been in a band that you've listened to for 20 years just be like, yeah, I'll sing on this song. Kind of surreal. And I think James's part on that song is great, because he's kind of like the pre-chorus hype man in that song. So it was like it both worked really, really well, like just like completely by fluke. And we're like, we get to reap the benefits of it.
I think we've seen that a lot across this scene, really. Like bands are happy to jump on each other's, tracks, and it's
Yeah,
quite neat, really, the way like the bands support each other.
yeah. I think that's like I always feel like it's in my head, it's always felt like it's such a small community, but obviously it's like this, it's not, and people are always wanting to like help each other out and champion each other on, and it's such a cool part of being in a band and seeing people that you love play music and supporting them, and having that return. It's like it's a cool thing that I definitely don't take for granted. I'm like super grateful to have anyone even listen to my music, let alone want to like collab and like get involved in it. It's yeah, it's awesome.
Do you have specific roles beyond your instruments in the band, like your social media or your artwork, or do you farm that out?
I think I am the guy that we when we played 2003s, was it 2 weeks ago, and I quickly realized that I am the interview guy. We had like, I think we had like 8 interviews stacked up back to back, and the 2 guys went, see ya. Enjoy. And I was like, oh, nice, cool. I guess I'm doing this
You're the
for the next
face.
2 hours. I think we were like off stage 10 minutes and had to go do them, and so I think I watched one of the videos, and it seems like I'm still like I'm like fucking bouncing off the walls, still on an adrenaline buzz from the show. But I think I do all the stupid social media stuff as well. Stupid honking.
Gotta be done,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Gotta do it.
So talking about live shows, how do you prepare for a live show? Have you got any pre-rituals before you go on stage?
You know what? We used to do no. Well, actually, I lied. Tom used to always have like such a weird one. He had like a stone in his pocket that he brought to every gig, and before we'd go on, you'd have to kiss the stone. Everyone like, and it wasn't like just like, oh, have it, like he'd enforce it right down the back of your throat. It was like, all right, this is like, you could get arrested for this, mate. But yeah, we used to do that, but I think he lost the stone, and so he's given up on that. But apart from that, we used to do. What's that?
Luckily.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say it sounds like it's an intimacy you don't usually get with other bands.
Yeah, a forced rock down the back of your throat, right down to the gag reflex. But yeah, we used to do that, and now we're like I guess we've been doing it for a few years. We're like try to like do a little bit of like warm up and stretching. I find with singing, I never used to do anything. I think like I can do the scream stuff no problem. Like don't need to warm up for that weirdly, but it's the singing stuff that I find is the tough one. Going from being like to trying to sing on key and hit a note perfectly is not something that just goes A B. So it definitely is something that I've tried to be a lot more like in this year. I say probably is the only year that I've done it where I'm like, all right, I'll try to do like a 10-minute vocal warm up while I'm stretching my shoulders, because we tend to like throw shapes on stage too, and like I've like starting to feel old if we don't stretch out.
And have you got any favourite live shows that you've done? Is any that really stand out in the memory?
We've done a few cool ones. We played with Author and Punisher a few years ago. That was fucking sick. Big up for that one. I think a lot of the shows that we're doing this year are like pipe dream, shows. I think our tangent is something that we always wanted to do, and we're doing it in a few weeks, and we've been given like a sick set, a sick time, and so we're like, I think we're all a little bit like, oh, a little bit nervous about that one, but super excited. Trees as well was like another big one where we were just like, oh man, we'd love to dream about playing this festival. And now it's kind of, things are happening, and there's like good comms with like festivals for next year and stuff, and so it's kind of it's surreal to kind of start being ticking those boxes of shows that you like, you'd only dream about playing. But I think Trees and Our Tangent this year are like the big ones for us.
And is there a dream venue or festival which is at the end of that goal?
Is it a dream festival?
I'm just thinking of one that actually exists. Is there a dream festival that you really want to play, or are they ticked off this year? Just bigger.
So many. Conquering the world is one day at a time. No, there's probably there's still loads in the UK that I like. I mean, I've got so much envy of the lineup for Bloodstock. I'm like, I keep looking at it, just being like, God damn it. Yeah, I'm like, come on, you got room for one more band. we'll be the first band on the smallest stage. But yeah, that lineup's sick, mate. Yeah, so many bands on that, and I'd love to share the stage with Ministry and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Sick. Um, there's one in festival that I go to all, like I've been a few times in Portugal, called Amplifest. Really small festival, but I've been so many times that I just absolutely adore it, and I think that would be like a dream, another dream one for me. Sitting in the sun, drinking a wine, playing a gig. Great.
Nice. Have you had any gig disasters?
Too many.
Is
The
that
one,
the tech or?
thankfully, no tech. Just hamming ourselves like idiots. The one that Tom, it's like one of Tom's favorite stories to tell. And if he was here, he'd be so stoked to take over this interview right now. We played. There's a venue in London called the Victoria. It's in Dalston. We used to bring a smoke machine to venues, and it's like an industrial smoke machine. You press it for a second, and it's boxed out the room. And so we used to bring this to all the gigs, and we brought it to this venue. And there's a little side step up onto the stage, that you walk up onto the stage on, but it's like almost leads you right into the middle of the stage. So if you're stage left and you're not on that shit, it's gonna have a bad time. And so we boxed out the room. You couldn't see my feet. Like I was just like, I took one step back and I went straight down and fucking went down the steps. And like Tom always tells it, he was like, mate, we were playing a song, all of a sudden you just disappear into the ground. You're gone under a cloud of smoke. And I was just like, I remember it so well because I fucked my shin and knee all scraped all along the stairs, and I was just like, I limped back on stage and like in agony for the rest of the fucking thing. And I had so much road rash all up my shin for fucking weeks afterwards. Tom's like, funniest thing that ever happened.
So looking ahead, how do you see Tayne evolving?
How would it evolve? I think uh, I think just kind of in terms like musically, just kind of probably just capitalizing on like the strong points. I think we we definitely, when we started Tane, it was like this kind of idea that Tom's the guitarist, I'm the bass player, the drummer, so everything has to be all going. And I think we've kind of finally, at least, even though it sounds mad to say because our music is very dense, we've kind of learned how to, I think, how to serve the songs a little bit better rather than our egos on instruments. And so I think as like we're kind of progressing, like just a little bit more like sense of that kind of stuff, being mindful to like the music rather than ourselves. But yeah, in terms of evolving outside of that, I'm not really sure. Like it's one of those things where um we like I've had it a few times this year. People have like asked like, what do you hope, or what is your aspirations for the success of the album or something like that? And I'm like, it's not really something that's ever been a concern in the process of like writing music or like the aspirations of the band. I think we've always kind of wrote music to kind of serve our selfish needs, and if people kind of are into it, they're into it. And I think kind of that is kind of still like the kind of the direction that we kind of want to keep it. Like it seems like I don't want to just like tap into a niche of something that like people expect from us now. I think we tactically use that word pop very very well, so that if we do end up making more pop music, people can't give out to us.
Right, we're going to move on to the fun questions now, Matt.
Oh,
For the
nice.
bit more light-hearted. So, if you could only listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
One. It would be a tie between David Bowie's "Scary Monsters" and "The Fragile" by Nine Inch Nails. Probably I think it might be "The Fragile" purely because it's got a bunch of different moods. Maybe it kind of meanders from emotional to nice to angry. Yeah, let's go with "The Fragile."
And then, if you could collab with one famous musician, past or present, who would you pick?
Oh mate, it's got to be Gaga, right? Let's go there, Lady Gaga, Tayne
Nice.
and Lady Gaga, 2026.
I think this is the first time Lady Gaga's been mentioned on the podcast, to be honest.
Mate, hey, you know what's funny? You said Mastiff earlier, and like anytime I speak to Jim Hodges, the singer, he's always talking about oh my god, the biggest female singer in the world at the moment,
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. He's always banging on about Taylor Swift, and I'm always banging on about Lady Gaga.
Yeah, he did do that shirt as well, didn't he? The Taylor Swift sort of
The
converge shirt.
Taylor Swift Mastiff T-shirt. Yeah.
Edge vibes to it as well.
It's so funny. Yeah, he's like, my kid's into it, so I love it.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. If you could join any band, past or present, which band would it be?
Oh, that's a good one. Past or present? Man, all right, I'm gonna go present, and I'm gonna go. I would love to be even a fly on the wall of Oranzi Pazuzu.
Yeah, I think
Man,
that songwriting process for Randy Pazuzu would be interesting.
mate, it's so fun. I've seen them 3 times, and every time it melts my brains, and I just love it so much. I'd love to even just like, I don't know, hit the fucking triangle in that band.
I'm getting a chance. I've not seen them yet. I'm going to see them in October. Sorry, when they support.
Oh yeah, that's right. Man, that lineup is insane. I'm definitely going to go to that. Another great band, Blood Incantation. So good.
And that album from last year, Absolute Elsewhere, it's absolutely astonishing.
Pink Floyd meets extreme black metal or whatever the fuck.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
Which fictional villain do you feel a kinship with the most?
Evil villain. I'm trying to maybe the Grinch. The Grinch, because he's just miserable and he thinks he's great, but he just ruins it for everyone else, right?
I think I'm starting to feel something with the Grinch now as well.
That's me in a nutshell.
Have you got a current song that's on repeat? Something you can't
I've listened to, I guess Nine Inch Nails just dropped a song on the start of the weekend, so I've been listening to that a bit. But I feel like that's the easy answer. Song that I've been listening to on repeat. Yes, there's a band that my buddy just put me onto. A Finnish band called Hunning Barna, and they put out a song. They put out an album 2 weeks ago, and there's a song called God Gut by Hunning Barna. I've listened to a lot in the last 2 weeks. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a really interesting sound. It's like kind of the best parts of like noise rock, like A Place to Bury Strangers meets kind of like really fast paced drums and like really energetic kind of stuff. A little bit like, reminds me of the Refused in some parts, and like even maybe some parts of like the weird synthy Oranzi Pazuzu stuff. This song God Gut, I've been listening to it loads.
You obviously mentioned the new Nine Inch Nails track then as well there. So if you could write score for any movie, what film would you pick?
Oh, like a movie that already exists, I presume.
Yeah.
I was going to give you my script that I've been working on. You know.
We'll take that.
No, I'm joking. I don't. There is no script. There is no script. I'm just honking. What movie? It's got to be something sexy, right? Mate, it's got. So I would love to reinterpret Silence of the Lambs with some fucking Tayne music. That would be fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Just make it way more sexy, and just like a lot of the same scene of the guy with the dick tuck, right?
Great answer.
Gotta be.
Like it.
If Tayne were to go on a world tour, what country would you be the most excited to visit, and why?
What country? Japan, I think.
Everyone
Japan.
Japan.
Does it? Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Did I say Japan? Yeah, I think it's got to be Japan. Yeah, it's like the furthest away, isn't it? It's like the most, like, no one wants to be in America at the moment, I presume. I mean, South America would be pretty wild too. I think that could be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, my heart still says Japan. I think just culture shock. Ready to throw yourself into a world where like nobody knows, or you don't understand at least, and people are into it. It would be funny to see people sing Tayne songs in Japan. That would be wild. That would melt my brains, absolutely.
But we're on to the quick fire questions now.
Yeah.
So vinyl or streaming?
Vinyl. All day, every day.
Loud or quiet practice?
Loud.
Has to be loud. Feedback.
Has to be, mate. You got a drummer with you playing a band with Ardo playing drums, mate. It's loud. Even if you turn him down, he's still loud.
Is it a live kit as well, or is it an electronic kit that you use?
No, it's live kit. Yeah, we do have like some programmed like usually it's a lot of like hi-hat kind of glitchy kind of drum stuff, or like big I call them the Dolby douche, some of that shit. But predominantly always live drums. Loud.
Gigs or daytime festivals?
Gigs or daytime festivals? Gigs. Just always way more fun.
I was going to say.
I think
better in the night and in the dark.
Yeah, you know what? I was having this conversation at Trees, and I was just like, when you go to a gig, you can kind of control the vibe, especially if you want everyone to take off their shirts and kiss like us and be sexy. You can get the red lights on and some strobe, and it's a good time. When you play a daytime festival, it doesn't matter how good the lights are on stage; it just looks like daytime.
Yeah.
The vibe, the illusion is broke. No one wants to get sexy.
And there's definitely some bands who do work better within that sort of dark environment as well, isn't it? So.
Yeah, big time.
Iced coffee or hot coffee?
Coffee.
Just coffee.
Fuck iced coffee. Just coffee. Just black. Into my veins. Iced coffee, I don't know. Yeah. I would, I take a cold brew over iced coffee. Cold brew, good. Iced coffee, no. Warm coffee.
Whiskey or beer?
Whiskey, definitely. Not even, I shouldn't have even flinched on that one. Whiskey all day. It's a lot more versatile.
Yeah, definitely.
So, thanks for coming on, Matt.
And just before we leave,
mate, thank you.
If there's anything you want to plug at the moment, anything you want to put out there for the listeners to keep an eye out for?
Yeah, we obviously, if any of you guys are going down to 2003s or Arctangent, come check us out. Should be a fucking sick show. Really looking forward to it. And yeah, I think we've got a few more shows that we're announcing in the next few weeks, predominantly in Ireland and the UK. So we should be doing more stuff towards the second half of the year. So hopefully we'll get to play some more cool shows around the UK and hang out with people and have a laugh.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, Matt.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice
Bye.
one. No worries.